Okay. The Shelter FootyCast live from BackChat Studios. We're here in the West, and of course, a big weekend of footy. Prelim finals week in the AFL. A huge grand final in the WAFL yesterday. Absolutely masked with attention and controversy, and our main man on the ground has been amongst it all. He's called both prelim finals on 6PR and running the show at Channel 7 for the WAFL Grand Final coverage. Mark Reddings joins us straight from the East Perth change rooms, I believe.
No, just had a couple of, relaxants after the game.
Relax.
That's okay, into the season. Big weekend, Cats, Lions, two very different grand prelim finals, but it's Brownlow medal night. There's a lot happening. You've got so much on your plate, Scully, I don't know where to start.
I forgot it was the Brownlow tonight. I literally forgot because, of course, it's the Jack Buckley medal. If you don't have your tickets today, come down to Leadable Hotel tonight. The Jack Buckley medal live at the Leadable Hotel. Should be a great crew down there. I've given the night off for Skeeter. He's going to work Wild Water Sports instead. So if you got a tuxedo, get it on, get down to the Leadable Hotel. Skeet, let's get straight into these ones. Of course, our great partners in Heyscape and MSH joining us today for the show for the big moment and the Heyscape Escape of the Week. I want to get into the big moment straight away, and the Heyscape Escape of the Week, thanks to our friends at Heyscape, heyscape.com.au, right now giving away a huge giveaway at their Denmark location. They're launching a new style of cabin. It's a dual cabin complete with baths, saunas, e-bikes, all that sort of reason. Down in Denmark, beautiful place of the world. Skate, have you spent any time in Denmark?
Haven't been there. I think Big Luke Longley, that's his sort of territory.
Okay, very
There's only space for one big man down there.
Well, when you go down there, Heyscape is the place to start. And we're going to start with this, Skate. Usually AFL off the top, but we have to get into the WAFL Grand Final controversial finish. South Fremantle win a deserved premiership. And so the following discussion, I don't know where you sit on all of this, right? But I feel your sort of shoulders bubbling around and your head wobbling a little bit. So I feel like you could have come at me aggressively. So the following discussion, can I just say, right, look at you laugh.
I was loving you.
The following discussion, right, is not about who should have won South Freo win the grand final and win a premiership deservedly. It's not about, this person should have done this, what if could have. However, it was quite controversial to finish this one, Skeeter. How did you see it, the end of the grand final?
It's not how I saw it. It's how the umpires saw it and how absolute nuffies on social media saw it, who, to be totally honest with you...
Is that me?
Yeah, absolutely, it's you. Using butchered the last part of the game. Butchering.
Yep.
Tim Gossage, embarrassing. I'd like to know, when you put that tweet out, did you know the rule?
At that exact moment, no.
No, of course, no one did.
No.
So what? I asked a question. If you don't know the rule, then why do you... I mean, I actually asked the umpires afterwards. I didn't know. No one knew, except the umpires. I haven't seen a retraction from Gossage, from Schofield, from anyone saying I got it wrong.
Well, tell me why I'm wrong.
Because the rule states.
Where's the rule?
Do you need me to read it? Do you need me to read it out? Okay.
That's not. If you're about to read the thing that's bouncing around on socials, that's not from the AFL rules. So, I can see what you've got. That's not in the AFL rule book. This is the AFL rule book.
So you tell me what you think is the rule.
I think in the AFL rule book... there's nothing that says what happens with the 50... It doesn't actually clarify.
So are you in the camp that says the umpire has to raise the arms to signify full time?
So for those of you who missed what happened, right, before we get straight into it, so cracking grand final, you weren't overly happy with the style of play, but
it was ugly grand final. And it's East Perth's fault, but you know what? They played the way they had to do to stay in the game.
Possessed the footy. They tried to play keepings off on South Freo, and for most part, did it work? Maybe. I mean, it kept the game low scoring, and then it gave them an ability or a chance to win in the end. It wasn't the most amazing game to watch, but if you're in it to win it, that's how you got to do it. With 2 minutes to go, there's a kick in it. It's bouncing around, scramble around. 10 seconds to go, free kick paid at about just forward of centre, somewhere there, right? About 80 out. Free kick paid. Whistle goes. Handball goes to a South Freo player. Siren goes. Ball with South Freo player. Torps it away. Thinks they've won the grand final. Game over. Players and staff come right out of the ground. the fireworks and stage that you had to gets wheeled out. It was quite funny if you look at it. If you take a step back, it was
good theatre.
It was humorous. Umpires saying no, it's a free kick. East Perth players start saying to the umpire, he's kicked it away, where's the 50?
I think Corey Watts was the guy that might have alerted the umpires to that element, yeah.
Umpires get together, they're trying to wheel the stage off.
I'm wondering where I'm going.
Were you out on the ground? Did you go out into the ground?
I was there.
Did you get onto the ground?
I was, the most critical 2 minutes of the season, and I've commentated WAFL all year. I'm walking down you can't get access by the lift. You've got to go down the steps. So I'm sort of. I saw the end, but I'm like, I'm stuck on the boundary because.
So did you get on the ground when everyone else did? Did you step onto the ground?
I was just watching, and I was just on the sidelines.
Sounds like a yes. That sounds like a yes. I'll get the footage.
That's irrelevant.
Yes, you were on there as well. So the other thing was, everyone's on and staff and blah, blah, blah. So, I think people in the crowd that I was sitting around was probably more East Perth. There was people calling for 50s. There was people calling for head counts because, of course, it's okay, just calm down. I'm just explaining what happened.
You're going to get to your point.
Finally, we got everyone off. They didn't pay 50. No head count went. East Perth player talked it, got onto it, by the way.
Jordan Baker had a decent slice of it.
If he had been a little bit more, he was probably landed 20 out. He needed to be a bit more forward, but he got onto it.
I'll tell you what, if he got the 50-metre penalty, that would have been a moment to remember.
So season over.
Yeah.
Now, I do have the rules in front of me, Skeet. So the thing that you pulled up is an excerpt, not from the AFL rules. It's something that's been bouncing around. The AFL rules, this is the rule book. I have it sitting in front of me. So there's a bunch of things in here, why a 50 is paid. So one of those reasons has not returned the football directly and on the full to the player awarded a mark or a free kick. Right? That's a 50-metre penalty. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Right.
Have you put the other element into that explanation?
So that's 19.2E. 19.3, preventing a player from taking part in the next act of play if a player intentionally made. Right, there's nothing in here about after the siren. There's nothing in here about award area.
So the messages I'm getting from Dean Margetts, who's a umpire nearly three.
I've spoken to AFL umpires too.
Yeah. So and they've said to you it was a wrong call.
Yes. Yeah. What did Dean say?
Dean said it was a correct call.
Why? So explain to me why.
I asked him, was it the right call or wrong call? He said it's a correct call.
Why?
So what I've been sent and what is circulating is wrong, is it?
Well, that excerpt's not from the AFL rule book. That's all I'm saying.
So in your eyes, is the 50-metre penalty warranted because the umpire hadn't signalled for? Because once the umpire, I thought the umpire gives it that is time's expired. So it's free kick still taken. Then last night I'm told once the umpire hears that, which of course one of them had heard it because it clearly the siren went well before the kick by the South Fremantle player had taken place. So that's wrong, is it?
So what I can see is it's ambiguous and it is how the umpire calls it. So
how's it?
They could have paid a 50, they didn't.
So how's it butchering and embarrassing?
Because that's the wrong decision.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, it's not a right decision either. I don't think there's anywhere in the rule book.
But the bottom line is for people.
I didn't say it was embarrassing. Well, I didn't say that.
Butchering it is what you said.
Well, I think it should have been paid 50. Others don't think it should have been paid 50, but I don't think I'm right or wrong.
I think I'm going with umpires I've spoken to.
Well, I've spoken to umpires too.
Who'd you speak to?
Why do I have to name them?
Well, I'm prepared to name mine. Why don't you name yours?
Dave Cochran.
Okay, what's Dave's background?
AFL umpire. What do you want me to say?
No, I don't know you umpire AFL.
What do you want me to do?
I'm just asking you. I'm just trying to get. You're saying that they butchered the decision.
Yeah.
Which clearly, and all the nuffies jump on who've got no idea.
Tighten it down here, mate.
I just think, I don't know, if you don't know the rules at the time, then stay out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying this is you.
I've never taken that. I've never taken that line in my life.
That's
Skeeter.
probably.
I was reacting to it. Like, I'm at.
There's
the ground.
emotion involved.
Yeah, I'm at the ground. I see it. That was my. It's not like I said off the top. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on.
No.
I just and what also needs to be taken into account. It wasn't a 50 metre to the top of the goal square. If the 50 was paid, it was probably 30 out directly in front, but 30 out after the siren having a shot. You haven't asked me. You're a bit fired up because you think. No,
it's right, I just think
but you haven't asked me. What was I going to say? Yeah. should it have been? Do I think it should have been a 50? Yes. Do I like that it wasn't paid 50? I do. I actually like the fact that spirit of the game, right? Spirit of the game. I would like to ask Hamish Brayshaw and is it Christian Amajuri, the co-captains? I reckon at some point in time I've spoken to Hammer about head count and calling for a head count in the spirit of the game. I seem to remember him saying, and I agree with this, that calling a head count, especially in those sorts of circumstances, not on. Look, I haven't spoken to it, but from what I could see, I was watching them carefully. It didn't look like they went and called for it, which that's a good thing, right?
I don't think that was there. I think it was more about the interpretation of the 50-metre penalty they were chasing. And I've got to say this. At the end of the day, Hammer, Ross McQueen, I went to the East Perth Footy Club last night. I don't barrack for them, but I like the people there. I thought they handled themselves with class. Not once was that brought up as an excuse for the defeat. I think if we can get to some common ground, does the rule need some clarification? I think there was an incident, Trent Cooper pointed out to me, Chad Warner at the SCG when he kicked the ball into the crowd. Yep. So that it's very rare, but whether we need to reword some of that. And to be fair, the umpire, that was a very tight call, but a very tough call as well. The siren's gone. Yeah, I reckon the umpires have been smashed unfairly.
The example, yes, I know. The example I would use, right? The reason why I think it should be a 50-metre penalty, although I'm happy it wasn't, right? The reason I think is there's stuff in the rule book about delaying play and impeding players and stuff. So if you don't think that the ball had to be given back after that free kick, let's just say the mark was 70 metres out.
Oh, 70.
Right, he kicked that. He got that onto that toilet. Let's just say it was 70 metres out. And kicking the ball away allows the full forward at the other end to get down to the other end. It just means you'd never have to give the ball back.
No, well, that's what
you have to give the ball back.
Mark Webb had discussing, he's very much on the delay of game.
Yes.
But I guess the technicality is there's no delay of game once full time has. There's no.
What about that example? You're allowing your team to go and get players on the line to stop.
So that's where I think the rule needs to be tweaked. And to be honest with you, if you encroach on the mark when that free kick is paid, you get a 50-metre penalty.
Right. So you can get a 50 after.
Yeah, but not under those circumstances. So the wording says that. And whether the wording you're saying is right or wrong.
Well, that's not.
So where's this from then? If it's wrong,
I don't know where that's from. But I've been through in detail the rule. I was searching because I wanted to come on here and be like, Skeeter, you were wrong. But it doesn't say it.
So why am I getting? Honestly, why am I getting this from?
Because it's fucking social media and people are scrapping.
This is from WA football umpiring boss Dean Horsey. Why is Dean Margett sending that to me?
So where's that from? Where's it from?
So why are they sending it to me then?
I don't know why they're sending it to you.
So it's wrong.
Well, I don't know where it's from.
Well, it doesn't matter where it's from. That's their guy.
I'll just type up I'll type up a document.
So Dima gets a 300-game umpire, AFL, and you're saying what he's sending me is incorrect.
So can you read it out? You haven't read it out the whole time.
Well, you think it's crap. So
what is it?
So in essence, I mean, the last line is that a 50-metre penalty after the siren will only be paid for encroachment on the mark or protected area once the set kick has been set or further infringement of the ball. It's a bit...
What does that mean?
Well, basically...
Can you read it again?
From the very top. When a free kick or mark has been awarded and the siren has sounded prior to the set kick being established, a 50-metre penalty for acts of delaying the play, which this... or time wasting, e.g. not returning the ball on the full, will not be paid. Now, if it's made up, then I've been conned and I apologise.
So I'll read you... You said like... You know, if it's made up, whereas I'll just read you something. Right?
But I'm not disbelieving you. You're disbelieving this. I'm saying this is bullshit.
A player fails to immediately hand the football to a player awarded a free kick or delays a play, which was done. This includes timing in relation to the siren. The siren does not wipe away responsibility if the opposition interferes with the player's ability to take their awarded kick by kicking the ball away, holding it or wasting time. A 50-metre penalty should be applied. I can read things as well, and I can sense.
But I'm not just. You're saying what I've got is just.
I don't know where that's from. Is all I'm saying. Why isn't that in the AFL rulebook?
No, I'm believing what you're saying, but why is that not correct?
I don't know.
Either way, South win, they deserve to.
That's where I started. South win, they deserve
And East
to.
Perth were bloody good. An ugly way to try and win the game, but gee, they did everything possible, and they lose 2 grand finals in a row, which hurts a fair bit, as everyone knows. But I'll tell you what, from a very bland grand final for most.
The last 5 minutes. Tell you what, because they kicked 3 in the last 5.
I don't know. I was walking down the steps.
What did you? Oh, so I was going to say, what did you guys do at the end of the? Like, how did you break it down? So did you not call the last 2 minutes of the game?
No. They wanted me downstairs, and they thought it was going to take.
They wanted the big dog downstairs. So
Big Dog did a presentation which took another 20 minutes to get started. So I think we might have. Anyway, that's.
like, can you just rehash? Were you on the ground when all this?
No, I wasn't. I was watching and going, "What's happened here? What's happened?"
Because everyone ran.
It was like chaos. It was chaos. It was like, and there's butchering and embarrassing and all sorts of stuff happening.
Alrighty, there we go.
Done, dusted.
Well done. Heyscape, escape of the week is the well, I don't know. Is it the umpires at South Freo? I don't know. Well-deserved premiership to the Bulldogs. Good on you, boys. Now, let's get into a few other moments in AFL land. Skeeter, the biggest one, and the MSH big moment of the round is going to be this one. It's going to be talked about. I've got pretty strong views on this. mshph.com.au. Mine Services Holdings, if you've got a big project, big construction project coming up, go and see the boys down there. Get yourself some equipment or hire what you need. They will have it. I guarantee you that. Tom Stewart, concussed by Mabior Chol, who has been given 3 weeks for a tackle on Tom Stewart. He will miss the grand final. The question that I've heard being asked, should the pre-finals bye be moved to pre-grand final to stop a situation like this for Tom Stewart missing the grand final?
You asking me the question if I agree or not?
Should a pre-finals bye be moved to a pre-grand final?
I think it should, not for that reason,
Yes.
but for a host of reasons.
Yes.
That's my underlying issue. Now, whether it's a player who's been concussed, whether he's got a hamstring, I think give the players, and also you can create what you do during the pre-finals bye or have the, as we know, the state league finals on that weekend.
Let's say for this reason, do you think because I agree with everything you've just said.
Yeah.
I think,
but specifically, this has been the talking point. I know you're an anti on this reason, which I understand. I think your rationale is sound, but I still maintain that I would prefer that if we're not going to have a player sidelined for 21 days for concussion, which happens in state leagues, and it's at, what is it, 11 or 12 days?
Yeah,
12 days. Then, yeah, I would like to see every opportunity given to a player. And you asked Tom Stewart that question if he's sitting here. Of course, that's a no-brainer. But I understand and totally empathise with your rationale about the brain is more important than a hamstring. So I get all that. So I'm not trying to. We're not going to fight a war over this one.
So where I sit on it is people are banging on about putting a pre-finals bye so we won't miss a play with concussion. You're exactly right. In every other league in Australia, it's 21 days. The AFL is so far off the mark with this, with the carry-on we get in tribunals and decisions that get made and the inconsistencies around head knocks and the 3-week ban we've seen for this tackle, right? I don't agree with that either, but it's what we're copying now because of the legalities around head knocks. That is why all of this is happening. That's why we get frustrated with inconsistencies. Yet, they don't want to follow basic medical advice that is followed around the country for a 21-day concussion protocols. Kids, every state league competition, because the AFL has better doctors? I'm going to put it in inverted commas. What are they doing to treat a head knock? Like, what are they doing better than a state league competition could do?
Well, that's reasoning, isn't it? They've got better medical...
That's embarrassing, mate. If we're talking about embarrassing, I didn't think the umpiring decision was embarrassing. That's embarrassing from the AFL. So this whole thing about Tom Stewart missing, well, to be honest, guys, he should be out for 3 weeks. We don't react like this with a hamstring. If Tom Stewart picked the ball up inside 50, tore his hamstring, we wouldn't be sitting here going, oh, geez, we need a pre-finals bye so we give a chance for Tom Stewart to play. We're just not doing that.
But the argument that Adam Papalia put to you and us on, was it Friday night, whenever it was, and it's worth discussing, is with a hamstring or a calf, you physically can't run and can't move to the level you are able to in a grand final. With a concussion, look, I have no doubt that Tom Stewart could recover in time at least to play this week. He'd say he'd pass whatever tests he could physically, whether the protocol system's in place or not. So I think that's the, not ambiguity, but that's the point that Paps was making.
Yeah.
I understand that rationale.
Yeah.
But I'm totally on board with what you're saying as well. With the a hamstring's not your brain.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, so I think it's just attitudinal that we need to shift pretty quickly. I've done this in terms of I was in that basket for quite some time. As a player, I was in that basket.
Of course you are.
So with more information, I've tried to set public discussions, the tone with it, knowing more than I knew 10 years ago, or knowing more than I knew 5 years ago, and seeing people die from head knocks and mentally altered. You're not going to die from a hamstring. So I think the consequences are bigger than those things. And yes, physically you could play, but I guess you could say that although you can physically play, the damage you are doing is probably the greatest out of any injury you could possibly have. So I think the consequences of it need to be now taken in consideration. And you think about kids and you think about juniors, like, tribunal decisions and, slinging to the ground and all of that sort of stuff. And the way you act on field, and we carry on about flipping the bird and all those things, sort of pales in insignificance to the consequences of head knocks. So that's why I've probably been quite strong on this.
Can I just ask, same incident but different question? Chol gets 3 weeks. Can you explain to me, you're the ex-player, what other tackling technique Mabior Chol could use?
Yeah, I mean, so this incident was going to be talked about no matter what, right? It was either Geelong win, Tom Stewart misses the grand final, bring the pre-finals buy-in. Hawthorn win.
Supreme Court.
Mabior Chol is going to the Federal Court of Australia, injunctions. Because as soon as it happened, my first reaction was like, nothing to say here. Then saw the replay, arms pinned, head hits ground, player gets concussed. Like, we've just seen that over and over.
Well, no, Paul Curtis is the one that I think is the most...
It's like identical, and he got 3 weeks. And so as soon as I'd seen that, it was like, well, this is a 3-week suspension. To answer your question, no alternative. You're meant to show
care,
role and caring and flipping.
Have a pillow.
I heard Adam Simpson describe it the very best on SEN on Sunday morning. He said, Mabior Chol's not a crocodile. He can't put him in a death roll as he's falling forward. Tom Stewart's getting tackled sort of by the legs.
Going to ground.
Falling forward. Chol's coming from behind. You just can't do it. And so the alternative, don't tackle him. That's the alternative, right? And so that's what, it's absurd. That's it. Honestly, you can't tackle in that situation without that happening. Now, you can't control every outcome in a physical contest like that. And so this is the epitome of why I hate sort of how we're ruling on these is outcome based. So, that action I don't think should be suspended.
So Tom Stewart doesn't get concussed, Mabior Chol doesn't get suspended, correct?
Maybe, yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah,
There's no way.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Which is, anyway, I feel sorry for Tom Stewart. I mean, you've seen and know players have missed grand finals for a variety of reasons. He's got a premiership, but yeah, this is an incident that was always going to come in a prelim final, and Greg Swan's already indicated he thinks the pre-grand final bye is better suited. So whether that comes to pass next year, who knows?
Yeah, like I sort of speaking like that, I feel sick that Tom Stewart's going to miss. I'd feel just as sick if Mabior Chol, Hawthorn one, and Mabior Chol was missing with suspension.
Exactly.
It's never a good situation for a player to be missing a grand final in the end, and it probably goes back to the talks about concussion. You want the best players playing, and both of those players, very good players for their sides. There won't even be a lick of talk about the 3-week ban. It's just like, see you later. I don't even know. Hawthorn probably won't even bother challenging. I don't know. Maybe they should. Because, I mean, he's a starting key position player in their side. You want him back quicker than that. But, yeah, the biggest part of all that is Tom Stewart is missing the grand final. He's one of Geelong's best players. And for them to go and win without him for most of the game was a bloody good effort. And they played very well against the Hawks on Friday night. A couple of other stories before we get into breaking down the game. Skeeter, Jaden Stevenson has spoken to AFL clubs about returning. I literally flipped the page as soon as, who cares? He's been playing ammos.
But it's also a bit hard once he left under contract, didn't he? The way he left AFL, and then wants to come back. Look, yeah, you're right. The ammos. I think it's. I'll never discount a guy that wants to have a crack again, but it just sounds like he's made that bed, and I don't think he's going to get another chance. I would have thought, but we might be proven wrong.
Yeah, captains are all out the door, and Simpson and Merritt and Allen. We've never seen a pre-trade, pre-free agency period like this in terms of the amount of players that went out the door. Charlie Curnow, all these guns absolutely gone. But Marcus Windhager bucks the trend and signs on for 4 years at St Kilda after strong interest. So the Saints, say what you like about the Saints, and I've been really critical of them most of the year and other years, they're retaining their players and they're signing and they've got players coming to the club.
Do you think what they've done puts them as a contender just for finals or more than that?
Well, I think if you look at them, what else could they do? You've got to try and add players to the list to make them better, to give Nazai,
I think what we're seeing, Scully, in all seriousness, is that I've always thought the draft is the best way to build your list to success, be it short, medium or long term. I think we're seeing now that clubs are sort of got that in the back pocket, but they're looking to build. Well, Geelong's a perfect example. Other clubs are heading in a direction where they are acquiring free agents, etc. So the draft should be the way to rebuild, but next year Brisbane, whether they win the grand final or not, next year Oscar Allen, Sam Draper, possibly Jordan Ridley, wow, they're only going to get better.
Well, I mean, what usually happens with a premier, and it'll either be Brisbane or Geelong this year, and this is Brisbane's third grand final in a row, by the way. But Geelong have just, 15 years of absolutely braining the competition, usually from a game style point of view. And I saw this at West Coast. You study how the premiers win, and you go, well, they, if you think about Brisbane, they shift the ball really well by foot. And so you'll see a bunch of sides start shifting the ball really well by foot. We should be studying the history books of what Geelong has been able to do from a development point of view, because they haven't had picks like the Gold Coast Suns. Gold Coast Suns have bloody 15 first-rounders running around for them. Geelong doesn't have that. Geelong has just a bunch of blokes that play their role and have been developed internally. Now, have they drafted and brought into the club, the right people? Yes, they have. I heard Sean Manor speak. It was when Simo was talking to the Chol and the Crocodile, but Sean Manor, heard him speak. He's 27 years old. He gets the best first-year player. People cry about it, but he's a weapon that played really well in big games, kicked 6 in the grand final in the VFL year he got picked up, and he's a 27-year-old. Okay, but just hearing him speak, I could just imagine him being in the footy club and what such a positive environment that would be, as adverse to having a flyer, a pick 60, and I've seen plenty of these guys come through West Coast that come in, go out, impact nobody, and they're there for 2 years and see you later. Sean Manor, he's one of Geelong's best in the second half. That's just one example. They've done that 20 times.
Lawson Humphreys from WA in the 50s, I think. And look, you mentioned Tom Stewart. He was pick 40.
Yeah.
So if you're getting players of that ilk at pick 40, you're doing a fair bit right. So Stephen Wells, I think, is the guy that historically has done it.
Yeah, Mackey's in their list.
Yeah, so look, you can knock them, you can bag them, but they're doing something right because they're always thereabouts.
Yeah, well, that answer came off like what, St Kilda, is it a good option? Well, yeah, maybe. But I think what actually matters, yes, drafting the right people, but then developing them on the list. Nigel Lappin is the one that is head of development at Geelong. I heard big money coming from Tasmania for him, which I think we're going to hear a lot of. A lot of money offered to this person for Tassie.
Well, manager's saying that anyway.
Because you got to move to Tassie as well. So, yeah, I mean, hats off to them. Should we get into the game, Skeeter, and we'll break these down? You to go to work today? Or?
I've done radio tonight. I've been just having a
nice.
Yeah, well, I've had a reasonably busy September.
Yes, correct.
I've got to keep myself going till Thursday. Then I'm
little Arvo snooze today.
Sorry,
little Arvo snooze.
If I get a chance,
I would love to have
I just love. I don't know you, but if Vic's, my wife's out of the house and the kids are going,
there's nothing better.
Just sneak upstairs, just have a little half an hour, and then as soon as this lifestyle 360. If I hear the car arrive at the house, of course, I'm on my feet, I'm folding, washing.
Picking up a brew. Oh, nice to see you guys. I've just been cleaning out. Exactly. Why does it look like shit then? Oh, mate, Arvo snooze. I would
love
pay
it.
that much money to
I
have an
love
Arvo
it.
snooze. All right, Geelong 115 defeated Hawthorn 85 MCG Friday night in a pretty bloody good game. Crowd of 99,567 people, the largest non-grand grand final crowd since 1971. Skeet, you know I'm an MCC member. There was members locked out. People are apparently completely losing their mind. They pay a lot of money to be members, and they'd sold guest passes. So for the prelim final, about 4,000 guest passes. So that means scumbags like you can just, roll in with their mates who have paid the money. And members who rolled in late weren't allowed in. That's how packed it was. They hadn't done that since 2002 or something. So
yeah, I'm just glad you mentioned 1971 and didn't reference me sort of sitting at the bar. But anyway, that's nice of you.
Were you?
I was one.
Very good. Hawks kicked the first 3 goals of the game. They started well, and the Cats looked awful. The first
Rusty
20 minutes, they were fumbly and they were turning the footy over. But Sicily had about 4 intercept marks early, and you kind of thought, well, the bye into the week off, 1 game in 3 weeks, has it affected them too much? For what it's worth, Collingwood was similar at starting their game. But then the Geelong just went bananas. They kicked 12 of the next 18 after that.
Yeah, they were terrific. And look, we may as well address the elephant in the room. Patrick Dangerfield was enormous. It was, I've heard different people. You've said it's the best finals performance you've ever seen. I watched the 9 Sunday footy show yesterday. I think Nathan Brown said his best ever game. Call it what you want, but he was the reason that Geelong got themselves into a winning position. And he was just enormous. Contested footy, kicking goals. It was danger at his absolute best, and that's in a nutshell. That he was one of the main reasons why they turned the game around.
Look, you asked before, did I have my facts straight before I started tweeting? And I said, well, that's not usually something I usually follow. But like when I saw this, I just put on Twitter, I was just like, I didn't even say it was one of the best, but
You said it was the best.
no,
You said to me on radio, this
I
is the
said
best.
on radio. I just said, can someone tell me where this ranks in all-time finals? Yeah, I mean, you watched it and called it with me.
It's
great. He literally put the whole side on his back.
Yeah.
He had 20 contested possessions of 31, 8 clearances. He had 3 goals. All the goals were bustling, bullish. He was the best player on the ground by that far. And so I think he had 180 champion data point rankings, which we see on champion data. The next best was like 120. He was that far in front of everyone that, to me, it was that eye-catching. Plenty of feedback over it. And so,
Well, you got some flack.
Oh yeah, but
Really?
Mate, Gary,
Well,
Gary Ablett says hello.
We kicked 9 in the
Wayne
grand
Carey
final,
says hello.
7 in the final.
Yeah, all that
Cooter in
stuff.
99 prelim.
I mean, the answers I say with Gary Ablett. I'm a Geelong fan growing up. He used to play on some poor bastard in the goal square with about 100 inside 50s. Like, it was a very different game then. I just think from modern footy, what Dangerfield was, it was right up there with Martin in grand finals.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, it's and then it's a good question to ask, and he was outstanding. And the Cats, look, I know you didn't, and I didn't have them where they are now.
Do you reckon they can win a grand final?
I think they've a chance now.
Mate, I reckon I really, I hope it's been talked about. I haven't really seen a lot of the chat, but I really, part that I think Geelong has got to get massive credit for is obviously their role playing and role players, but that's coaching in the end. And for what they did against Hawthorn's best players and the way they did it, like I think Tom Atkins was one of the best on ground. He didn't have 30 touches and kicked 3, but he went head-to-head with Newcombe and completely nullified his massive influence. He was outstanding. O'Connor tagged Dylan Moore. Is that right?
Did you test my memory?
No. O'Connor went to on the wing, Weddle.
Oh, yeah, because Weddle, and Weddle was very quiet.
Completely, just absolutely took him out of it. And then Mullen went to Watson. Those 3 players, Newcombe, Weddle and Watson, were the ones when you walk into that game going, if these guys play well, Hawthorn a chance to win.
Well, Newcombe specifically, and he just, and I think you mentioned on Thursday last week that, a lot's on his shoulders, and if he can't produce, and that's where Hawthorn, they know they're deficient slightly in that area, and that's where they'll, if Zach Merritt comes their way, then they'll have a lot to work with next season.
And Hawthorn had 3 talls in Lewis, in Chol.
And Lewis started really well.
Yeah, and who my other one that I'm missing?
Lewis, Chol, and Deer was injured, obviously. I'm trying to think. Chol was Lewis, Chol, and Gunston. Yeah,
so
lest we forget.
O'Sullivan and Jack Henry to stand up how they did behind the footy.
And Henry suffered a bit of ankle early, didn't he?
Yeah, like we thought he was done. Like I reckon Humphreys played taller. You know, these sorts of guys that, you know, played a role for Geelong with no Stewart from most of the game. Yeah, they've got good players, but they're guys to stick to task, play their role, play together as a side, everyone on the same page. That is why Geelong's in the grand final.
So I know we'll discuss this on Thursday, but is it a simple case of out goes Stewart, in comes Stanley if he's fit?
I don't know. Well, it's not the same player.
No, but Blixavs can then go back and Stanley the ruck.
Because they clearly enjoy what Mark Blixavs has been able to do inside.
So versatile. I know he's so versatile.
Yeah, all of their players are like that though, mate. Like just everyone can sort of go and play somewhere. And yeah, Blixavs had 30 hit outs against Meek, which like no mean feat. He had 32. Like he was one of their best as well. And Bailey Smith got off the chain in the end, 37 and 1 goal.
Yeah.
So
and a little salute at the end.
Did he?
Oh, he was.
Oh, that's right.
A little shush.
Yeah. STFUC. He said to the crowd.
Well, hang on. Okay, I'll sort of
shut the.
Yeah, and the C word.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, watch this. Great.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Well, he would have been getting a lot of feedback, I reckon.
Yeah, fair enough as well.
Yeah, correct. Which sets up for a great Brownlow medal tonight. Skeeter, let's keep moving. Brisbane 100 defeat. You picked Geelong and I picked Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Brisbane 100 defeated Collingwood 71 at the MCG Saturday night. Brisbane kicked the first 4 goals to 1 in the first, and Pies didn't look like it at all in the first quarter. It was almost carbon copy. And you kind of felt like Collingwood were going to get going.
Rusty and a bit sort of off their game.
Which they did. The Pies kicked 6-0 in the second quarter to lead by 13 points at half-time. So Brisbane completely shut down. And then after that, Brisbane went on to kick 11 goals to 4 in the second half to run over the top of the Pies and really were by the end, quite clearly the better side out there.
Yep, and you know what? They've got injury concerns. They're a bit banged up, but they're finding ways, aren't they? And look, I was a bit critical early of Dane Zorko because he basically cost them 2 or 3 goals for turnovers. So, but he was a guy that I think with Glenn Jakovic said, he's going to make these mistakes, but he's a guy that can still create. So. Hugh McCluggage, 37 touches, loved his work.
So he wasn't injured. I was I was at a function while this was on. I saw him interviewed afterward. He had the full tracksuit on. He didn't get injured or anything like that.
Who's this?
Hugh McCluggage. I saw him interviewed on the broadcast, but it just the way he looked and the jacket, I was like, oh, did he get subbed out? No, he didn't get injured.
No, but he whether he's carrying something, he probably is, but there's a few blokes, and obviously Jared Berry's going to be one of the stories moving forward as well with the shoulder, and he looks determined to do what he wants to do to get out there on Saturday. Lockie Neal apparently ran 7 or 8 Ks on Saturday at decent intensity. Now, it clearly mustn't have been a fully blown calf if he's this soon after the event that he's doing that.
No, that's going to be a huge talking point this week. Do they take a chance on Lockie Neal? Do you sub him? Do you play him for a half? What would you do right now? Would you say he's playing or not without knowing anything about the situation?
My medical expertise. I would suggest if he's available, he plays.
Yeah, and what makes him available? Because, I don't think he'll be able to say, I can
guarantee
play
you
15 kilometres playing inside midfielder. But what if he says, I reckon I can get through 6 kilometres? I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion, whether he plays where he doesn't at all. My gut feel right now, I reckon we saw Callum Mills not off a calf, but can you remember when Sydney made the grand final and there was basically a Thursday night selection call and they didn't play him? It was off the back of some sort of injury. I reckon it'll more likely go that way than not. I think coaches, especially grand final day, to reliability, what they know. You don't want to be rolling the dice. You don't want to be rolling the dice and he gets injured and then I don't think you roll the dice.
Yeah, of course, Pendlebury, not that they rolled the dice there, but he obviously was sore pre-game and then didn't last longer than 5 or 6 minutes.
That's a disaster.
It was a disaster. And briefly on Collingwood, look, for a club that led the comp by, I think, 10 points as minor premiers early or mid-season, they fell away at the end, didn't they? And, the questions will be asked as the ambulance comes past to pick up their season.
Take him home. Your lips here, Skeeter.
I'm going beautifully. Never better. Yeah, are they going to fall off the cliff now in terms of what happens moving forward? They'll keep reloading, and they talk of Charlie Curnow and all. They're always going to be a destination club, aren't they?
Yeah, Charlie Curnow going to Collingwood. Was that real?
I read it somewhere. But the bottom line is they are an ageing list, and on the weekend I thought we saw a bit of that.
Right.
Jamie Elliott's future's under a cloud because no contracts in front of him that's satisfying.
Why is that? He wants more money.
I think so.
Right.
Gold Coast lubes, if that, apparently.
Right.
Brody Mychik.
4. He was pretty good.
He took the mark of the year as well.
Yeah. So should the mark of the year, should we be able to win that in finals?
Why not?
That was big. Well, the argument would be, the other teams don't get a chance to compete with it, but play finals then.
Sort that issue out, yeah.
Oh, very good.
But Brisbane, really good. And the way they, after half-time, they bounced and they just find gears. And they're like Sam Marshall, you talk about players, who do you drop? Marshall, I thought, was more than handy for the midfield.
Yeah.
I love Wilmot's running carries, and Rayner got into the game after half-time. So
he's been sick all week, by the sounds of it. Rayner, he's on the Red Bulls and the
he?
Saw him interviewed afterwards. He was having concoctions it sounded really crook too.
So they say 3 grand finals in a row. It's, not dissimilar to what they did in the early 2000s, but. Yeah, they're a terrific club, and Chris Fagan and everyone deserves a heap of credit for that. And they're back to back. We know how tough it is. It's 4 quarters away.
So they lost to Collingwood
by a kick
in that grand final. They then beat
Sydney
or Geelong. Sydney, and then they'll play Geelong. One out of those 3. You can't do much more than.
Get there. You got to get there. And I know we 1 out of 3 people say, they've haven't taken their opportunities and they've wasted a. Jeez.
It's a lot better than some other clubs are doing at the moment. And
exactly.
you have to sit on that for a little bit. All right, Skate, let's get into some Brownlow predictions and just let me know how you think this one's going to go. Of course, before we do, the Jack Buckley medal tonight, the BackChat Backman of the Year, Best Defensive Player all year, will award it even if the AFL won't. Harris Andrews. I don't know the results at all, but I know that he... No, I actually don't. I make sure I don't know so I can actually enjoy the night. Harris Andrews had 13 marks, 9 intercepts, and was absolutely dominant.
So your award goes through the finals?
No, it doesn't, but we do have a defensive player of the finals, and it's for a one-off performance. The best defensive performance of finals will win that award.
What's a trip to Hawaii or something?
Called?
No.
It's the Will Schofield medal.
Self-congratulator. Yeah.
I didn't set it. Hammer come up with it, but I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Brownlow prediction.
No,
because it awards a game out of the box that doesn't usually happen.
Can I say this? I was at East Perth last night, speaking of Hammer, and a couple of boys, a couple of boys, I don't know their names, they asked Paul Higgins from the Shoe, what time are you open tomorrow? It's 7:30, too early to come in.
He go and open up, wouldn't he?
Of course.
As long as his liquor licence allows it.
So Hammer and the boys, I'm sure.
That'll be good. So I'm co-hosting up on stage tonight with Hammer. Well, we did it last year and I was going to kick out the whole venue, so that should be good. I'm just hoping maybe that they're commiserating a bit more than last year, and not in a bad way, but just celebrations are just less because it's sort of the second time around. I'm worried it could go the other way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Brownlow medal, Skeeter, tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good night, of course. Night of nights, the AFL likes to call it, other than Jack Buckley medal.
Red carpet, all that sort of stuff.
Nick Dacos is a pretty firm favourite. He's got probably 4 or 5 others that are potentials to win it behind that, and that's probably about it. Bailey Smith, second favourite. Jordan Dawson, third favourite. Noah Anderson and Matty Rowell from the Gold Coast Suns, and some very, very rough chances in Sarong, Wanganeen, Miller and Tom Green.
I should ask you your thoughts, because I don't pay a lot. The Brownlow's good to watch. I don't get into invested who wins, who doesn't, but you're sort of... You've got a bit more skin in the game.
Well, I picked Matty Rowell at the start of the year, so I'm sticking with him. I think he's a proven vote getter. I told you that stat, that the last 16 Brownlows, the the winner has been top 5 contested, top 5 clearances in the league. Nick Dacos wasn't able to do that this year, so he would be one out of the box in terms of those stats. Players that did do that, there's 4 of them: Noah Anderson, Matt Rowell, Caleb Sarong, and Tom Green from the Giants. So if you are investing, I would keep those stats in mind if I was you. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going to stay with Matty Rowell, Skeeter. You think Nick Dacos? He's probably got a few in him. He's going
to poll, isn't he?
He's got a few votes, but I reckon he's got a few Brownlows in him.
Absolutely. I don't do the Brownlow predictor, all that sort of pupperama. I just, I'll have a look. I'll be on radio. I'll keep an eye on it and I'll enjoy it. And yeah, if I'm pinned to the wall, I'm saying Nick Dacos, but that's because I think he probably. What did he poll last year? He polled the 30s and still got beaten by 10, didn't he?
Yeah, because he got. He got injured.
I'm saying, but the bloke who won it, won with, was it 45?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, so.
It was Lockie Neal, wasn't it?
Last year?
Yeah, didn't Lockie Neal win the Brown last year? How are we going?
I thought it was Paddy Cripps.
Paddy Cripps won the Brown last year.
Was it 2 years ago, Paddy Cripps?
I don't pay attention to that. I'm watching the Jack Buckley medal.
Yeah,
Patrick Cripps.
Lockie was a.
Oh, well, I'm Patrick. Congratulations.
If you're listening to this, why? Is it, why? I'm going home to watch some NFL
Questions.
soon.
Yeah. Gee, I'd like to do that too. I might come back to yours. Let's walk back there.
It's 2 minutes away.
Questions and comments, just to finish us off, Skeeter. Big thanks to MSH as well as Heyscape, our partners for the day. This is from Broken Chairs. Hearing Minnie speak. So this is Andrew McWalter. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's the most similar head coach to Sam Mitchell in terms of selling a vision and inspirational leadership. TBC, whether he can has the same tactical nous, but excited to see what Minnie can do with the young West Coast crop. I agree in terms of I've been impressed with him. I wouldn't compare him to Sam Mitchell. I don't know him as a coach. I do know Sam Mitchell, and they, of course, find their way out of finals as a prelim. You'd have to say it's a tick for their season, even though
of course,
losing a prelim isn't a win on the season. But I'd say it's an improvement for them and give that young group a chance to grow from there. They'll get better. They've got a young group and they're going to add players to that. Great crypto plan on YouTube as an Aussie living in Ireland. I'll say it the way I probably said it. Ocean, as in Ocean Mullen, is pronounced O'Sheen.
O'Sheen, yep.
And so I put my hand up as a poor pronouncer of names. I don't
poor pronouncer.
Why is that no?
No, it's just O'Sheen. Yeah, no.
It's, as opposed to you, poor announcer. Cost End on YouTube, Governor Morsgate. As a Dogs fan, we need a defensive general, and May is that, but I'm not sure I'd want May at our club. Too much drama off field, which we as a club have had enough of lately. Also, I'm not certain he'll get back to his best. All that said, though, our recruiters have done pretty well for a while now. So if they decide it's worth it, then we'll see how we go.
Yeah, I'm a no for Stephen May. I think I've been pretty vocal about that. I think
West Coast?
No. He's 30. Is he 33?
I don't know.
32, 33, I think.
Yeah.
Tony's going to look that up quickly. But no, well, put it this way. If Stephen King has pulled the trigger that quickly, I mean, I don't mind the call. His shelf life as a footballer is probably 1 to 2 years tops. I know you think West Coast would be a decent fit?
No, I don't. No, I was just asking you.
Thank you very much.
Shelter FootyCast on socials. You can email us, footycast@backchatstudios.com.au. Jeremy has sent an email in. Hi, Mark and Will. Would love to know why Lockie Schultz is worth a first-round pick, but Liam Ryan is not. Still under contract. Got to make St Kilda pay overs for him if they want him. Weller was worth pick 2, but Chesser may be a third-rounder. Eagles have to act like Geelong this trade period, be like a pack of C's.
Jeez.
They are the main reason the Eagles are in this mess, making them pay well overs for Tim Kelly from Jeremy.
So Jeremy reckons that Liam Ryan's worth a first rounder.
Well, if he says if Lockie Schultz is worth a first rounder, then so should old mate.
I think Lockie's a bit younger than Liam, to my memory. I don't know. I'm not sure Liam Ryan's a first rounder.
Before we leave, Skeet, and might put this up on socials. I got sent this yesterday.
You what? Sorry,
I got sent this yesterday.
Yes.
What's going on? What's going on here? What's happening down the sideline there? Who is that? What's going on? Just explain to the people what you're watching here.
I've had a photo of someone. Why?
What are you doing down there?
I've been hosting for 7 boundary side. Well,
Who's getting photos with you?
Well, one bloke said, "Can I get a photo?" And I said, "We're not going to walk away like you."
I just love that people are tracking you on the boundary line, seen you getting photo, got the time to get the phone out, video, zoom in on you.
What does it go there?
So Skeeter's just walking along the boundary doing a lap of honour.
Something was never afforded to you.
All right, mate. I've put you through enough pain.
I'm fine.
As we discussed, the umpires got it wrong in the WAFL Grand Final. So I did well to just talk you down off that. You're a bit fired up this morning.
Well,
you thought I was going to be more fired up about it, didn't you? I just.
You know what? I speak to, and you've spoken to your people, I've spoken to my people.
Yeah. And in the end, I think we can agree that either of us have no idea what's going on.
Exactly with the rules. And that's why when I see people go on social media 1 minute after the game and carry on like pork chops, I guarantee you all those people, none of them knew the rules, as I did, none of us, including myself. I thought, how do you go on there without knowing what's actually in the rule book?
When are you back on social? When are you back on X when we can see you? I thought we might have had an appearance yesterday.
No, I was tempted about 10 o'clock last night.
I would have.
But you know what?
If I'd have woken up this morning to Mark Reddy's reply, you absolute numpty.
No, you know what? I'm getting more mature as I grow up and think, you know what? I'm not going to respond to people that don't need responding to.
Well, I don't. That's me. Okay, thank you. I don't rate that at all. Goodbye.